Well, good. Well, guys, we want to welcome you all to kind of a special segment of the Times. This is going to be where we're going to talk to our current sheriff. And of course, in the same manner, we're going to be talking to someone else that's going to be running for sheriff. And we just wanted to see if we could peel back some of the layers and get to know these individuals a little bit more personal. I know Robbie's obviously already a town celebrity. Everybody knows our sheriff and thinks very highly of you. And but I do hear a lot. It's being a sheriff is a very personable job, and you have to be the bad guy and you have to be a good guy, at the same time. So having said that, we've kind of been gathering some collective questions from some different people over the last couple of weeks, and we've kind of narrowed it down to a few that I think that are different, probably not the same questions that you would have been asked. And I'm also going to give Robbie the opportunity to just kind of talk about some things that he wants to bring up and mention as well. But Robbie, just starting out, what are you probably most proud of that you have accomplished in the last 4 years?
One of the big things that I'm really proud of is, from day one when I first got elected, it was a process of trying to get our school resource officers in order. We virtually had no protection. And the last 4 years that has really come together. We have 13 SRO officers, which, in the state of Tennessee, there's 365 total watching 1 million kids. So I'm really proud of the fact that Campbell County can say that we're ahead of the game. I mean, when our guys go somewhere to training, these other departments are really amazed how good we've got it. And excuse me, it's not just the fact of what I've done, it was the working relationship that I had with the school board and the commission. They saw the need and stepped right up, and we've all worked together, and we've really focused on it because it's important. It's important to have these folks there. And what really makes you feel good is I'll go to these schools and the SRO officer will be with me, and these kids, they don't even know me. They don't even notice me. They'll notice our SRO officer.
Because they have that relationship.
They have that bond.
They
have that bond. And, a lot of these kids don't have that. I was raised in a good home, a good close family, good Christian home. And, some kids don't have that these days. Some kids don't have the opportunity to come home and sit down and share their day with their mom or their dad. But they feel that closeness to our officers. So that whole program has really, really made me proud. And like I say, it wasn't just me. I'm the type of person that I will work with you. I will step out of the box to try to get help for Campbell County. But that's one of the biggest accomplishments. We've done so much. But I want to give, the credit to the commission and the school board and thank them for helping us, because it took us all.
It was a team effort.
It was a team effort.
Good. Well, that's wonderful. Do you have any regrets?
I tell you, Kelly, there might be some small ones, maybe, but the way I do business is I do it straight down the line by the book. That way, I don't have to go back and worry about things. We don't let things slide. We don't halfway do things. We do things what the law says, and we abide by the same laws. But the most important thing to me was for myself, and I took an oath to God to do the right thing. So that's what's really important to me. And I expect the same out of my people. I'm the easiest person to work for and the hardest, because I know that our guys can do very good work, and I expect it out of them. And we give them training. I'm real big on training. I think that that's key, having educated people in different areas, because laws always change. The world changes all the time. But as far as regrets, there might be some that, maybe I felt bad that I could have done better, but I'm pretty satisfied where we are at this point.
Okay. What is one of the best things in the big picture about being sheriff? Probably one of the most satisfying things. You think, wow, it's,
Well, when I started in 1990, I started working in the jail under John Dossett. Not long after that, Sheriff McClellan got elected. But it was always something you wanted to do. If you're in law enforcement, you want those goals. You want to reach those goals, and it was really hard. It's hard work. It's hard work running a campaign. It's hard work getting out here asking people for votes. So one of the most important things to me was that night that I won. Not being arrogant or anything. It was an honor, and I never take it for granted. I was raised in a good family. We was raised in the fairgrounds, in La Follette. I'm not above anybody. I don't treat anybody, the rich, the poor, we treat them the same. And but just the fact of just having this job is huge to me, because I've been in law enforcement my whole professional career. So, what more of a gift could I had than to be sheriff?
Good answer. What's probably one of the most challenging things that you come across in being sheriff?
It's a budget. Budgeting money. We got $8.5 million, and it's expensive to do what we do. It's expensive to run a jail. It's expensive to maintain 30 vehicles, buy tires, oil changes, things like that, to uniform our guys. We've got it to where our guys don't have to buy anything but underwear and socks. And when I started, you just pretty much had a uniform. Very blessed department. Very blessed. I mean, we're leaps and bounds from where we were when I started. But the most challenging thing is making sure that each penny and dollar is spent in the right manner, because it's taxpayer money and we get one amount. And it sounds like a lot, but it's really challenging. I mean, it's something we have to look at every day and we work on every day. So the biggest thing is to make sure that, there's a law enforcement side of this, and there's a management and business side of this. And the business and management side of it has changed so much. It consumes a lot of your time. Out here a lot of times, we've not seen you out in a week. We don't see, you never know what we're having to do to try to keep things rolling. And the jail's a very big expense. It's not really a big money making thing, and we've got a new one. I've been told we've got a mini prison, and that's really what we do have. So my biggest challenge is to make sure we do what's right, because if we've not spent the money in the right manner, it's going to start affecting our job performance. So that's why we have to keep that balance there. So I would say that's one of my biggest challenges I deal with.
With the budget, most definitely. If you weren't sheriff, what would you be doing today?
I would be in law enforcement somewhere. I would. You
did that for countless years.
Yeah. I've carried a gun all my life, and it's not about carrying a gun, but that's what I've done. That's in my professional career, that's what I love to do. It's like you say, you make some mad, you make some happy, but at the end of the day, if you treat people fair and honest, they'll understand.
Yes. Why are you seeking re-election?
I love my job. I absolutely love what I do. I don't, when you love what you do, it's not work.
Right.
So I enjoy the people. I enjoy the challenges. There's nothing about it that I don't really like. I mean, some things, of course, you could do without, but I really enjoy it. I love it.
Right. Well, you can tell that you enjoy your job. What is probably the single, I think everybody's going to know the answer to this, all at the same time, simultaneously, but what is the single largest threat to our community or our county at the moment?
Well, of course, the addiction. It's not anything but addiction. The addiction covers a wide spectrum of problems we have in our county. To the theft, the burglary, the child abuse, you can pretty much tie it all back to that. When I was first elected, I come into office, and we had a problem with meth. And it was different in the fact because people were cooking it at their homes, and we had homes burning, we had explosions. went into the fact that people were doing the more portable deals, you know, and we had waste all over the county where these folks would go produce meth and leave the garbage behind, which was just horrible. Contaminated, yeah. So, you know, I was talking to a drug agent. I can remember it like it was yesterday. We were at a home where a garage had caught on fire down in Jacksboro, and we were talking about that. What's going to take the place? You know, it cycles. It really is. It goes in cycles, and I know what it is. It's the opiates, and what's different about the opiates is we're fighting these clinics, physicians who prescribe to people. I've talked to people who, elderly people who get maybe Xanax or something like that, and they sell them so they can get their heart pills. You know, so we're in
it's a cycle.
It's a very big cycle. It's a very big cycle, and the thing about it is this is such a powerful medication, some of these that are out there, that it's a struggle for these folks to get off of. And there's a lot of good people with addictions, you know. I don't ever want to hear somebody say, you know, well, I do this or I do that. You don't know what you'll do until you're there. But I mean, you know, go back to the meth, you know, we slowly got out of that. Now we had ICE come in here into Campbell County, cartel ICE from Mexico. That we like I say, I want to work with whoever will help Campbell County. Whatever means we got to do, I'm for it. If we don't get any publicity, I don't care about it. It doesn't matter. Get these people out of here. So we had a group of people here. We worked with the federal government, the DEA, and the Drug Task Force. A 1.5 year investigation on these folks who were bringing ICE into our county. And I can say now 11 of them have been sentenced in federal prison. They're in federal prison, totaling 137 years. And we've got the other 10 who took their place, because there's always somebody that takes the place. We've got those 10 in federal custody waiting to be sentenced. So this investigation that started here in Campbell County, it covered 7 states after we got this thing going. But the opiates is a totally different animal. It is. You've got, I can't see how these wellness centers and things, how they see can they not see what they're doing? You know, it's absolutely destroying lives. So you've heard it about drugs in the past, different, but this is different. This is really strong stuff, and people are falling asleep driving down the road. You know, we get a lot of DUIs, and some of them are not alcohol related now. They're prescription medication. You know, you get people falling asleep in the parking lot, falling asleep in drive-throughs. You know, and the ones that I talk to tell me that they felt good for maybe 2 months, but after that, it was just trying to fight the sickness that comes along with this medication. So it's a horrible situation. I think the whole country has the issue with it. Campbell County was third, and it was said that we're third in use, but we're third in prescribed. So that says a lot.
Yes.
And we fight the battle every day. It consumes us. It's what's tied to everybody in our jail. You know, we have people trying to stick it in our facility. It's a sad thing, but we're going to keep fighting. That's what we do. It's what y'all pay us to do. And I'm not afraid to step outside the box and call resources in from wherever. And you know, there might be things happen here that people don't even know about. You know, nobody here knew that we'd been on this case for a 1.5 years.
Right.
Yeah, but that don't matter. What matters is getting this out of our county. Not me parading down the sidewalk with somebody doing a photo op. So I really pray that we can come to a conclusion on the opiates, but it's going to be a long road, I think.
I agree. And being that, I guess the biggest problem was very obvious, someone might say, well, besides the drugs, what would possibly be the second biggest problem or biggest challenge that we would face as a community? And drugs consume so much of it, you almost have to stop and think, wow, where would we fall? You know, what would the next
in my opinion, the children that are left with grandparents.
Okay.
You know, and that are misplaced and not having a family because of this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tumble effect that you've got grandparents raising 3 or 4 kids. You know, where are we going to be in 10 years when they're gone? You know, and you've got kids raising kids. And you got parents that have these children and still have more children with addictions. And I talked to a guy one time, not many months back, that was just in tears. He was at the office. His wife was 8 months pregnant, and she was using a needle, shooting meth, you know, pregnant. So, in my opinion, that is going to be something that really comes to a head in the next few years. Is these grandparents, these family members, these misplaced children that I don't want to say misplaced, but you know they're not in a family structure. They're just with people who love them and are doing the best to take care of them. But you know, a child needs stability. They need encouragement. But in my opinion, I've always said I think the people who prescribe this stuff should have to go to Children's Hospital and work on a floor with these addicted babies.
True.
You know, I talked to a guy the other day that had that works in a hospital in Knoxville, and he said that the respiratory floor was just consumed with people on pills. You know, so in my opinion, I think the second biggest, and I think it's the kids. I think that's something that's really out there that I don't think a lot of people really realize how bad it is.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what does Robbie do on a day off?
Mow grass, usually.
You mow.
I have.
Not that was a surprise. I just meant, wow.
Just because I'm usually behind, you know, and if I could play golf or ride my motorcycle, some I do. But just to be honest with you, I'm usually mowing grass. When I leave here, I'm going to go mow some grass. It took me 2 days to mow my yard, but hey,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's okay. So on your day off, you basically work and mow grass.
I work at home usually.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, what kind of hobbies and interests do you have outside of this?
Golf, ride my motorcycle. That's mainly the two. And I enjoy being outside working and doing anything. I enjoy it. Love it.
I already know the answer to this question because I asked you this, I think it was last year during the Community Choice Award selection thing, but how long has it been since you've had a vacation?
I haven't had a vacation since I've been elected.
So, I mean, that was a true statement you gave me then. I was hoping maybe between now and then you might have squeezed something in there.
Yeah. I mean, I've took some days off and done a few things, but not, as far as like being off a week or something, no.
Wow.
I haven't.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Well,
if I took a vacation, I'd want to stay here anyway.
Really? You would never want to just take a walk?
Maybe.
Go on a cruise or something?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good with Campbell County.
Really? Okay. Well, that's surprising. Well, I just want to give you a few minutes. You know, Robbie, just take as much time as you want to. I was kind of let you talk to the people a little bit. If there was something else that you really felt like you wanted to say, or maybe something else you wanted to mention, I pretty much kind of covered some of the the questions that that collectively, even some of the public had kind of thrown out there. But of course, you did talk about the drugs and some things of that nature. We touched on that a little bit. You mentioned it with being one of our signature problems in the area. But just go ahead and take a little bit of time and just talk to the people, and I'll let you close us out.
Well, first of all, thank you, Kelly, for doing this. You've always been energetic in our community, and that's what it takes. We got to get the word out in different areas, not just this, not politics, but all this stuff. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all the people of Campbell County. I mean, they're so supportive. We've got a good group of people in Campbell County. The good outweigh the bad. And they'll come right out and help you anytime you need it. We always have volunteers for anything we do. But it's an honor to serve as sheriff. And I don't take it lightly. I'm not arrogant about it. I'm low key in a lot of areas, and I guess I should be more, but I'm not about being on the camera all the time and I want my people to get their credit when credit's due. But I look forward to serving again as sheriff 4 years. I want everybody's vote. I want to ask you for your vote. I want to ask you for your family, your friends. I want your support. I'll be there for you. I'll always stand up for Campbell County, and I'm going to do what's right. I don't care who you are, what your title is, what your last name is. You know, I'll treat you fair, but I'm just that kind of guy. I'm going to do what's right, what my job is, and I think that's what the people expect of me, that's what I want to, so I can go home and lay my head down at night. But it's been an honor. You know, the nights that I work third shift up here in the fog at the valley, I never thought I'd be here, but really blessed to have this job. And I thank everybody.
Okay, there you have it. Sheriff Robbie Goins running for re-election this August 2nd, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you.